Thank you all for your presence. Now, you all know who I am, but have you ever met my friend, St. Nicholas? Nicholas is a whole lot older and a whole lot wiser than I am. Nicholas is 1,745 years old. Santa's only 85. Now, Nicholas and Santa travel together all the time. And I turn to Nicholas for wisdom and advice. So this is how I'd like you to think of it. Santa brings toys down your chimney, but Nicholas delivers love and warmth through your heart. Tonight, I'm going to ask if we can find Bruce Templeton, because we are here to explain and give to you the ultimate gift, the greatest gift that you can ever give and the greatest gift you will ever receive. And that is the gift of your own presence. So I'm going to go and see if I can find Bruce now, because we're going to ask him to take you on 3 Santa visits. So I'm going back to the North Pole. I'll see if we can find Bruce. Hang on. Lum bum 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 bum. Lum bum bee da do. Lum bum dee. He's back. Woo! Santa, Nicholas, and I are really good friends. They've been with me now for 37 years, and the 3 of us have had more than 1,500 visits together. Last year, 2014, we had 56 visits in 25 days. Now, I'm going to ask you to join me now on 3 of the visits. I need someone very special to join us. Her name is Paula, and for 37 years, my wonderful partner has been with me in the helicopter. She walks the 2.5 miles of the parade route, and there's no way that I could do what I do without my wife and partner, Paula. There she is with her red hat on. Nobody even ever knows she's there. So here's what we're going to do. Santa left these bells. Look. So I'm going to ask Paula to buckle you up. We're going to do 3 Santa visits. The first one is the flight to the North Pole. Buckle up. Come with me. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, and we are all on the cargo side of the airport. Half an hour ago, over in the passenger terminal, 18 children boarded a real plane. They had their tickets, they went into the airport, they saw flight HOHO, they went up through security, down the steps, onto the plane. 18 children and 18 parents. The plane was pushed out, the engine started, there's Christmas gift wrap over the windows, the plane took off. We are all over on the other side waiting. Are you ready? Look, here they come. Santa's outside waiting. The pilot comes on and says, "Boys and girls, we are at the North Pole." Inside the terminal building, inside the cargo building, we are all ready. We've been planning this for months. We have the seating plan. We know where every child is seated and the questions that they all want answered, and we know the gift that every child has asked for. They're all laid out on the table behind me, and the elves deliver the gifts to the children on the plane. Now, some of the questions are absolutely crazy. Santa, do your feet smell as bad as Uncle Billy when you take off your boots? Santa, why does the reindeer poop on Grampy's lawn look so much like chocolate bars? And little Sarah in row 6, Santa, can you dance Gangnam Style? Yes, Sarah. Santa can dance Gangnam Style. Right? Santa gets down on the cold concrete floor and has the final chat with Nicholas. Then they dump 2 boxes of snow, real snow, on top of Santa, and Santa walks up the steps, through the green curtains, and onto the plane. The children go absolutely berserk. You walk down 2 steps and you shake, and snow goes all over the place. Now, there was no snow when they took off this morning, so they must believe that we have to be in the North Pole. Nicholas, come with me. We have to go and find Emily in row 9. Nicholas knows the question that Emily has asked, so we go to the plane. Little Emily hands us her letter and says, "Please, Santa, phone me tonight with the answer." We get back to the North Pole. Mrs. Claus and I get the mailbag, and we open Emily's letter. "Dear Santa, my mommy is writing this letter for me. There's only one thing I really want for Christmas. My puppy dog Billy died of cancer. My mommy says that if I am really good, that perhaps you will use your magic and bring my puppy Billy back to life. I will find him alive under the tree on Christmas morning. Santa, it would mean the world to me. Love, your friend, Emily." All right, Nicholas, what do we do now? We go to the basement, we get the bells, we call Emily's number. "Emily, this is Santa. I'm in the North Pole. Mrs. Claus and I have just read your beautiful letter. Now, we just looked outside the window, and Billy is playing tag and hide and seek with all the other reindeer, with Dasher and Dancer and Comet. And you would really make our Christmas very special if you would let Billy stay with us. We promise we'll give him a warm and loving home for the rest of his life." There's silence on the phone. And then little Emily says, "Thank you, Santa. That's a wonderful idea. You keep Billy there with you, and Mommy and I will go to the pound after Christmas and see if we can find another puppy." We didn't promise to give her another puppy. No, we didn't promise to bring Billy back. Our assurance gave her comfort, it gave her reassurance, and it gave her closure that she and Billy would be okay. Get ready, we're going on the second visit. Buckle up. We lift off, the helicopter takes us into the middle of the city. We land in a church parking lot where there's a big party happening inside a hall. The party is put on by a support agency for the inmates and the ex-offenders of Her Majesty's Penitentiary. There are some very special children at this party. A child cannot choose the family that it is born into. Now, for 6 of his 11 years, the same little boy has met Santa at the front door. He takes my big white glove, we walk down the hall, we go into the auditorium, there's pizza and there's music and there's fun. And this little guy sticks like glue to my left side. Now, I don't know what the problems are in his house. I've heard stories, and I know this little guy is carrying an awfully heavy load. We have a wonderful visit. Now, that particular year, while Santa went into the building, Bruce had to leave. So on the second floor, there was a change room and a suitcase. Santa walked up the first 2 flights of stairs, and at the top of the stairs, I heard pounding little feet. "Santa, Santa, Santa, don't go! I have to go back to the North Pole with you." I ran down the hall, I opened the door, I closed the door, I locked the door, I took off the bells, and I sat there absolutely paralyzed. There was no way out. He tried every door coming down the hall, and then he said, "I know you're in there. Please take me back to the North Pole with you." And then he started to cry. There was an angry, loud adult came along. I heard a loud slap, and he was led away. And a little while later, I went outside, and there on the floor, there was a red crayon and a little letter that said, "Santa, please come and get me and take me back to the North Pole with you." In 2014, when I went, I walked through the doors, and there was no little guy there. I said to the organizers, "Where's my friend?" And they said, "It is so sad. You'll read about it in the paper tomorrow, Santa." The next day, I opened the paper, and there was the story that you have all read, that a 12-year-old had stolen an ambulance from the Janeway. I didn't know what to do. I said, "Nicholas, is that our little friend?" We called the party organizers, and they said, "Yes, Santa, that's him." I said, "Nicholas, we have to find him." Nicholas agreed. So we called the Department of Justice, and they said, "Sorry, Santa, Privacy Act." We called Child, Youth, and Family Services, and they said, "Sorry, Santa, he's a minor." So I called the party organizers back, and I said, "Please, we have to find this little guy." And they said, "Santa, your phone will ring in 15 minutes. Well, it was a long 15 minutes, and Nicholas made it ring. And this voice said, "Mr. Templeton, I understand you're trying, Santa, I understand you're trying to find a little boy." And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Can you come at 3 o'clock? This was the Youth Treatment Center for Mental Illness for Young Adults. "So come with me. Please come with me." We land the sleigh in the parking lot. We walk across the asphalt. There's a security guard outside with a radio. He calls in. We go through 3 sets of locked doors. And then inside, Santa starts to ring the bells. And down at the end of a long hallway, this adorable little cherub face looks around a door. He ran the full length of the hall. "Santa, Santa, Santa." He jumped and he landed. He put his head on my shoulder and he cried, "You found me, you found me, you found me. I was so afraid you wouldn't find me." We had a wonderful visit. So what did our presents do for that little boy? Someone he knew and loved and trusted had worked awfully hard to find him, and he knew that. And for a brief period of time, we made the not-so-normal seem normal again. And our visit, our presence, had nothing to do with gifts. In the chopper, buckled up, we're off to visit number 3. We fly across the city. We land outside the hospital. Look and see the orange windsock as we land at the heliport outside the hospital. We walk across the road up to the 3rd floor, and we're there to meet a very special family who have asked that Santa be present at 4 o'clock. There's 2 parents. There's a 13-year-old girl in a wheelchair, and her little sister's there. This 13-year-old has been in and out of hospital more than 50% of her life. She's nonverbal. She's been in comas. She's had infections. She's had everything thrown at her. And during the last summer, she had a rod installed in her back. The surgery did not go well. And now, here in November, the parents have made a gut-wrenching decision. If our daughter is not going to make it, then let's have her die at home. And their request is simply this, that Santa be present by the wheelchair as she is taken from the hospital. So we get down on our knees, we take the little teddy bear, we tuck it down beside her, and she's led to the elevator to be taken home in the ambulance to an uncertain future. Now, this story has a very happy ending because Christmas came, the infections cleared, her lungs cleared, and in February, she went back to school. And as far as I know, she's still there. On Christmas Eve, Nicholas says we have to go to the nursery. Because Nicholas says to me, Santa, there's a pretty important birth happened on Christmas Eve, years ago. So we go into the nursery, and the nurses are all excited. Santa, Santa, come and sit. Have we got a treat for you this year? So first they bring baby number 1, and then they bring baby number 2, and then they bring baby number 3. In 37 years, Santa has never met triplets before in the hospital. We then go upstairs for the final visit of the year to a sweet little boy. And every Christmas Eve, on Santa's visits, I'm accompanied by my doctor daughter, Christina. She too is here tonight. We open a big door. We go into the most adorable little guy you could ever see. He's got his hands tucked under his chin. He's got his little Santa hat on. He's got number 32 on his jersey. And his mother says, Santa, he just fell asleep. He was trying so hard to stay awake. He knew you were in the building. Could I please take a picture so that I can show him tomorrow morning that, yes, you really did come? So Santa got beside him, took the little white teddy bear, tucked it down in the bed, and then I got ready to leave the hospital. I went to a change room. Santa went into the suitcase, and Bruce and Christina walked out of the hospital, and it was 11:15. As we were leaving the hospital, I turned to Christina, and I said, Christina, I am wondering, is Santa's presence on Christmas Eve, is it worth the effort? And 2 weeks later, Christina sent me the most wonderful letter that a father could ever receive. And her note is called An End to Wondering. It's framed and in my office. And she said, Dad, you were wondering when we left the hospital whether your presence on Christmas Eve is really worth it. A couple of hours after we left Richard's room, he had a critical bleed, and his situation is deteriorating. On Christmas morning, they showed him the picture, and he was ecstatic. Now look at your presence this way. If he lives, they will kid him for the rest of his life about how he fell asleep just before Santa came. And if he dies, his parents will have this picture of the last Christmas their son was alive. Either way, Dad, Santa's presence is worth it. We are going back. Love, Christina. Paula and I have driven the 900 kilometers to Richard's gravesite. I promised Santa and Nicholas that I would take you on 3 visits. Now, why would a 70-year-old man, or almost, stand tonight and do something that he has never done before? I have never taken people inside the world of the man in the red suit. Well, the simple truth is, someone else has to take over the job of magic, mystery, and ministry. The work of Santa and Nicholas must continue. Now, you don't need a red suit to make memories for people. You certainly don't need a bag of toys to make people happy. And a reindeer and sleigh will not take you to someone's side when they're in need. But tonight, you have all of the things you need to bring the ultimate gift. So here's what I ask you to do this summer. Please, throw a frisbee with a child. Get 2 buckets of water and start a water fight. Please light a campfire. Please roast marshmallows. Please make hot chocolate. Lie on your back and look at the stars. Find a satellite. See if you can find the Big Dipper. You get one chance to make a memory for a child. And the ultimate gift is simply this. It's your presence not presence, that truly counts.